Here today with Jordan Syatt, super fired up and excited to have him here. This video right here, you're gonna see us training together. We did some chest, we did some shoulders. What do you think of the workout?
It was brutal. It was only, what, 4 or 5 exercises?
Quick.
It was wicked fun though, it was good.
Quick, fairly simple. You guys will enjoy it, check it out. Catch y'all later. A little warm up going. Hamstrings are really sore. Oh, and my butt. From some deadlifting, I can't even move.
You do think sumo or conventional lately?
I've been doing a lot of conventional. Yeah, if I don't practice sumo, if I don't do it often, it's really hard for me to get in good position.
Yeah.
So I need to start working on it again so I can get my mobility down a little bit better again. This is something I'd like you to try. I like to do this in my warm-ups. I'll move the weight around a little bit for a few reps. And then start grabbing the bar kind of uneven. So maybe put your hand, close to the smooth part of the bar. Mm-hmm. And then put your hand all the way out by this guy here and start pressing it. What you'll notice is that this is kind of forcing your shoulder down and underneath you a little bit. And it might be forcing it in a position that it's maybe not ready to go in yet, but the weight is super light, so it's not gonna cause any damage. Kind of like this here. A couple reps, and then you can just start to get weird with it. And this works really, really good. You take the weight, got kind of an uneven grip again. Take the weight, just lower one side. And what we're trying to do is trying to get our shoulder to open up. And you can kind of teeter-totter the barbell back and forth. I know that this looks wacky, but if you come on this side, Jordan, you'll see like I'm trying to get the barbell to actually touch like my shirt.
Yeah.
And that is like, it's a stretch, so it's not painful.
Right.
But it's definitely opening up the shoulder a little bit. And you kind of come around. There's no wrong or right way to do any of this. I just kind of call this kayak benching. And then kind of same thing on this side. Bring it down. Just kind of let it sit. And what I've noticed from doing stuff like this is that when I go to bench again, when I'm done with this little weird movement stuff I'm doing, that my shoulders will move a lot better. And the weight will come down a little bit smoother rather than that really loud pop and click that you heard in the beginning.
Yeah.
So right now to get it to my chest is really simple, whereas before I was so tight from kind of previous workouts and just from so much benching over the years that now it feels a lot smoother. Give that a shot.
I like that.
Remember, there's no wrong or right way. You can kind of just do it. Do whatever you feel, do whatever you like. We've had so many weird things in here over the years. We've had people that have uneven lockouts, and we've had to put more weight on one side than the other.
Really?
Or we've had to have them move their hand, unevenly, intentionally. And see how difficult it is for you to get your hand like towards your side?
Yeah.
Go ahead and push your hand more towards like your feet. Yeah, there you go. You feel it kind of opening up through here?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's like, holy shit. Gets you in some of those jujitsu stretches.
Seriously. That would help a lot.
How has that been with like your mobility? Has it been improving a little bit?
Yeah.
You get forced into positions, right?
Yeah, you get forced in positions you didn't know your body could go. But it's funny because as soon as you have a goal that has mobility requirements, I've started doing mobility 3 times a week. Just like,
yep.
I never did mobility before, but now that I want to compete in jiu-jitsu, I have to. Yeah, it feels great.
Yeah. Something quick and easy. Opens everything up. Another thing I like to do to just save time on warm-ups is just to throw one of these guys on. So like even sometimes if I'm not going to use it, I'll just put it on for the first few sets. So, and I always take my time with the warm-ups. So you saw like I did the bar, I do 25. I don't always do this weight, but even when I was benching, close to 600 pounds, I would still always warm up with the bar. And why not, right? Like,
Right.
What's the real rush? I think a lot of times people spend so much time without the bar warming up, which is okay, and it can be really beneficial to get your body ready for your workout, but you can also just kind of get right to it. Let me throw one on. Probably about a yay. Check that guy out. So you can get up over those massive biceps. Yep.
Feels good.
Easy does it. Have you benched in a while? Been a minute?
Been a long time since I've benched. Gary likes it too. I had him use the Sling Shot for push-ups a lot.
Yeah, I've seen him do push-ups.
It would help it boosts his confidence a lot.
1, 2, 3. Yep. All your body really needs to do when you're warming up is you need your heart rate elevated a little bit, you need your body temperature up a little bit, and you need to just be ready and prepared and get used to the movement. So now that we're there, we're ready to have a good workout and start to work towards our working weights for the day. Something else I've learned is that, taking these smaller jumps in the warm-up, it's still part of volume, even though 185 is not going to be like taxing or anything. It's still all part of, at the end of the day, showing your work and showing what you did for the day. It still adds on to that slightly. Then plus it gives you an opportunity to do a little diagnostic of yourself. If something hurts with 185, now I can be like, oh, exactly. I don't know how to, it's not going to start to feel better when you put more weight on, right? So then you can start to kind of analyze. Maybe you audible, and maybe you do something different. Maybe your shoulder just isn't feeling right. Maybe you do the whole workout with the Sling Shot on, or maybe you do a board press, or maybe you skip bench pressing altogether. One, two, three, up. Just stop for a second. Stop for a second. Stay right there. Bring the weight down. Elbows in a little bit more. Right about there. Press. Oh, yep. Work on trying to keep them in a little bit more.
Got it.
That's a good weight. I would just stay right there. Do a few sets of that.
Cool.
And after you do a few, if you feel like still going up, then you can do it. But maybe do like a 5x5, kind of old school.
Yeah, I like that.
Just right there, Jordan's elbows were out a little bit, and some people press that way, but I think it exposes the shoulder maybe a little too much. And for power and for protection, I'm just trying to bring those elbows in closer to the side a little bit. Oh, two. The way that you set up on the bench is really crucial. Jordan does a good job of getting an arch, but it's not derived from the lower back. It's just derived from what you do with the upper back. So if you can flatten back out for a second, This is what it looks like for him to be flat. We wouldn't want to bench this way. There'd be too much shoulder range of motion, as you can see there. And in addition to that, he would have to press further. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to decrease the range of motion, and we're trying to increase stability. So as he gets on his shoulder blades, which this is kind of hard to do, it's hard to figure out. You see how he kind of wiggles into position? That's what you're going to need to do. Sometimes people do it by grabbing the barbell and then moving into position, like he did there. But what he's getting is getting feedback from the bench. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to position yourself on your traps. You're trying to turn a flat bench into a decline bench. Reducing that range of motion, increasing stability, and as he comes down, he's going to pretend that he's breaking the bar. He's going to pull the bar apart and try to bring the elbows into the body. And as he presses up, he's going to spread the bar apart. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, up. There we go. Just like that. Chest high. Nice. Not bad for not benching for a while. Form's looking good. Form check.
Crazy what the brain remembers how to do.
I bet you'll get a little better on each set too. Protect yourself before you wreck yourself. As we'll take the little bit of extra time. Protect yourself, protect the wrist. Things work upstream, downstream, so if I'm protecting my wrist, it's going to help my whole body feel a little bit more secure, a little bit more stable. I'll just feel a little bit more powerful. Wrist wraps aren't going to make you stronger, but they make you feel stronger. And you can only think as good as you feel. So if you can feel a little bit better, then you can think a little bit better. Here we go. Come on. Up. That's nice. Pretty good. There we go. Champion of the world. 405-pound deadlift for 17 reps. That's what it was? 15 reps.
535 for one was my best.
Damn. Weighing what?
132. Just over 4 times.
4-time bodyweight deadlift. What do you think? What do you think are some of the bigger mistakes that you see sometimes people making in a gym when it comes to trying to get stronger?
Always trying to lift as heavy as possible, I think is the biggest one.
Just too often. Getting too excited.
I forget who said it first, where I saw it first years ago, was testing versus building.
Right.
They're always trying to test their 1 rep max,
Yeah.
always trying to test, what can I lift today, what can I lift today? And you don't get stronger from testing. That's where you display your strength, as Louis always says. But you build your strength from your sub-maximal weights and really honing in on your technique.
Right.
What you just said was big, where it was like, you only feel as good, you only can think if you feel good. Like,
Right,
think
right.
good if you feel good. It's like, if you're always testing, you're exponentially increasing your chance of not feeling good.
Right.
Because you're not going to increase your weight, you're not going to get stronger, so you're going to think you're not making progress. In reality, if you just lowered the weight, did more, you get stronger.
It's a lot of stress, right? It's a lot of stress on your body to go as heavy as possible. And when you try to do it too frequently, there's not anything to really draw from each time to be successful, to continue to move forward.
It's interesting. A lot of people talk about like CNS fatigue and overtraining. I think a lot of the CNS fatigue and overtraining is from people psyching themselves up so much for a lift.
Yeah.
Where it's like, which is one of the things that like I loved about Louis. He's like, in the gym, just relax, just like take it easy, you know. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, using yourself as an example with a 535 deadlift, if we were to, start to train you back up to those kinds of weights, you'd have a ton of anxiety knowing that on Monday you're doing 405 for a few sets of 3 or 5,
Right.
And then the weights would get only heavier from there.
That's exactly
and
right.
if you do them too frequently, too often, and they keep getting too heavy, then you're going to get crushed. And you got to kind of work your way to more like a technical limit, where your form and execution is good, it's on point, maybe small deviations, but not a chance of getting hurt or anything like that.
100%.
It's hard. It's hard to stay in your lane, right? Hard to take those weights off. Here we go. Another good set of 5. 1, 2, 3, up. There we go. Just as I thought, man. Getting better. You getting really sore from jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it making like other forms of exercise hard?
Honestly, fortunately, no, because I reduced it to 3 times a week.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Come on.
Up.
Easy. Come on. Choke the bar. There we go. Easy.
Feeling good. Feeling a little stronger.
Jiu-jitsu is like one long isometric contraction, slowly going into eccentric. It's
What
just
gets the most sore? Your neck or your stomach or?
neck when it gets cranked, which is never fun. But I think surprisingly, like I didn't expect it was a lot of abs. Like a lot of abs.
I would think, yeah, because like on the ground you're trying to get, right?
Yeah, and you gotta like hold
Trying to
yourself
get new
guard.
positions and stuff.
Yeah. You've done some jiu-jitsu before?
A long time ago. Did it for about 2 or 3 months. It is something I would love to get back into. I need to commit to it.
Yeah. You did no gi?
No, I did with gi.
You
Yeah.
did with gi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think maybe just because I don't know the way I move and don't move. It might be good for me to start out the way you did with some individual instruction.
Yeah, that was
for a little bit
super helpful.
and then jump into it. I don't want to be on, page 1 of a completely different book and everybody else is on page 43 of another one,
It was one of the things that they first said to me when I went after the first practice. They were like, "How was it?" I was like, "I sucked." They were like, "Yeah, it's gonna be the next 2 years." I was like, "Okay, now I know what to expect."
They're like, all right, about 700 days from now, you'll be like,
Okay.
yeah, you'll still be shitty, but we won't make fun of you as bad. 1, 2, 3, up. Come on. 5 good ones. Here we go. There we go. 4, yep. Awesome, dude. Yeah. Perfect. Give you some encouragement to get back on that bench press, buddy. Bench press is like, where have you been?
Seriously,
Where have you been, bro?
I haven't benched in so long. It feels good though.
Yeah. Some of the barbell movements, unfortunately, they don't always feel great. They sometimes kind of just flat out hurt.
Yeah.
Feel something in the shoulder or elbow or.
Especially the squat. Squat was always like that for me. Just like there's so much stuff. Like your elbows, your shoulders, your hips, knee. Like it's cranked.
It's and I've worked with a lot of people in here to try to fix this. People when they first come in and they do a squat, even it's just the bar. But it's the first movement they've done for the day. Maybe they did a little hip circle warm up or whatever. But they go, and it's like, it's 45 pounds. Let's just, and you learn that from jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, you learn to try to be like stoic.
Yep.
And just calm the hell down. I think the same thing with your training. The more calm you can be with the heavier weights, I think the more productive you're going to be. It can be really hard if you have like 90-pound dumbbells in your hands or something like that, but it doesn't really improve anything by going like that, It may help you get a little tighter by, breathing a certain way and bracing yourself and things like that, but you really, it's something that you should definitely think about, because if you're sending a negative signal to yourself with 45 pounds when you squat, and then you put 135 on and you put 220, like it's just going to continue to hurt worse and worse. So try to get yourself to a point in your workout, or rather in your warm-up before you even get going, to where your face is a little calmer. Maybe on the first set it is kind of like that, because maybe your knees are creaking and maybe they do hurt.
Years ago I probably been like, that's stupid, that doesn't make sense. But the better I get at lifting, the better I get at understanding like human behavior and how everything is tied to like a lot of emotional responses. When you smile, emotionally, like you get happier. Yeah. When you do this, like you tense up everywhere. You have a chemical response to it. Like it's very real.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
How about when you just grab the bar and you make it feel light, right?
You squeeze the bar with everything you have. Andrew brings up a good point, just your mindset towards it. I mean, we were just talking about being calm, but just because you're calm doesn't mean you don't have a burning like rage inside you to still crush weight. When you grab the bar, you're trying to grab it firmly and aggressively. And the reason why you want to grab it with some oomph is because that the harder that you squeeze through your hands, the more that it's going to contract through your forearms, your elbows, your triceps, your shoulders. Now, we don't want to be like concrete. We don't want to be so locked into it. And there's other places in your workout where you might want to relax your hands a little bit more. But for a bench, for a squat, for a deadlift, for these single rep maxes, when you're really trying to get after it, it's a good idea to squeeze with everything you got. Squeeze the damn bar.
Come on, easy.
Let's go, Bill.
Up. feeling it. I'm getting a tune-up.
It's getting faster every set.
Yeah, it's feeling really good. I haven't really done much in terms of how much weight I've done in a while on the bench, so that's starting to feel really good. Really, you know, years of beating the crap out of myself. My left side will get a little weaker, and I can feel it, like it almost like shuts off.
Yeah.
It's really strange, but on the benches today, it's feeling like it's like waking back up again. You know?
That's awesome.
It's good.
And your elbows feel good and everything?
Everything feels really good. I think, you know, what happens to me too is like when I keep coming down in weight, I got to get used to that new weight.
Yeah.
You know, I got to get used to the new body weight.
Yeah.
And I've been like about here for the last about 6 weeks, so this is a good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this is a good weight for me to probably hang around at for a little while.
That's a super good point that a lot of people struggle with too. Is like if most people, like, you tell them they're not going to lose weight for 6 weeks, they'd freak out. But it's like, it's one thing that I always say, like, maintenance is progress, and the fact that like you're maintaining here, you're getting stronger here, you're feeling better here, and something that like it gave you more room if you ended up going back up because life got in the way. It's like, it's super. You just said it so nonchalantly, but just hearing people would freak out if they didn't lose weight for a day, never mind 6 weeks.
Yeah, and if you were to just think, are you a little bit better than you were 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Are you a little bit better? And maybe you're not better in every area, and that's fine too. But are you better overall in most areas? Then you're heading in the right direction. Here we go, buddy. Triple body weight bench press for reps.
Oh man. That would take
First time bencher, right?
1, 2, 3, up. Release. There you go, Jordan. Yep. Moving smooth. Last one. Hell of a job. Cranking through.
I remember the first time I ever tried 185 in my college gym. I was like, sniffed ammonia. I was like, I'm
Got all fired up.
like, yeah, let's go, and just fucking stuck. Pinned to the bench.
Yeah, I think, was it Andrew? Andrew, did you get pinned with 135?
In my day, I've been pinned at 95 pounds.
95 pounds.
But
95
more
pounds.
recently, last summer at Gold's, 185 totally just was like,
For a 1 rep?
yeah, I barely unracked the
got it.
weight. Yeah, it was pretty terrible. Totally redeemed myself. Okay.
Yeah, your best is what, 235?
250, like
Oh, yeah,
literally
two-
like all the old former high school
250.
football players. Yeah, 250 was my best,
That's
and then
awesome.
295 with the Sling Shot.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's like, should I better learn how to bench being around Mark all day long?
Oh.
Easy. That was your fastest set yet.
Yeah, starting to feel good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Keep bringing those elbows in. Here we go. Yep, there we go. Good. Yep. I love it. There we go. Yep. Yeah. Nice. Hell of a set. Good job. All right, here we go.
Here we go, Mark.
Easy work, Bell. Come on.
Let's go. Easy weight.
Go, Bell.
Up.
Easy. Nice. Come on.
Woo. Just happy to get that set over with.
Oh, it's fast.
Damn. Yeah, that's the key, is to get out of there quick. Let's have you do same weight. Let's have you throw a slingshot on. The slingshot's going to take some pressure off Jordan's shoulders. It's going to give him a little bit of a boost out of the bottom. Going to do another set of 5 reps here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, up. There we go. Nice, smooth. Good set. Yep. Let's have you rest a little bit. I'll sneak in a warm up on our next movement over here, which is bamboo. We're gonna mess around with some bamboo, some bamboo-ness.
This is awful.
It's unstable, it wants to shake and tremor around.
Absolutely. It's like super good for your shoulder health. As long as it doesn't smack you in the face.
It's amazing how strong people get on that. Like Dave Hoff is able to really.
He's an animal.
Yeah, he is.
An animal.
Guy's a beast. We can do, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3. 3 would be good.
Okay.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Up. Release. Give a good push now. Yep, there we go. Oh, you got 5 in you. Let's just keep going for it. Here we go. 3. Yep, come on.
Come on.
4. Yep. Come on, one more. Bam. Nice. Good work, dude. Feels good. Awesome. Yeah, this is a bamboo bar, so this is gonna. It just makes it difficult because it's like so unstable and the weights are all moving around and everything. So, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, so these things will be wobbling around a lot, and then I have to try to make them not wobble around as much. And like, why do you do a movement like this? Well, this could be for rehab. This could be, as we're using it today, as a secondary barbell movement. We're just going to use it for kind of higher rep ranges and stuff, and hopefully we don't kill ourselves or lose our teeth. If you're at like a regular gym, obviously like you're not going to have access to this style of bar. This bar is almost like a plastic type thing. It's like hollow, and so it wiggles around a lot. But what you could do is you could take bands and you could still loop them through. You could still loop them through a plate. You can loop them through right here. If your plates don't have holes like this, you just loop them through right here. And again, this is a great movement if you had coming off a shoulder injury, an elbow injury. And the reason for it is just that it's going to force you to use a lot less weight. And as a power lifter, it's actually like one of the most valuable things you can learn is like, how do I find exercises that force me to use less weight? Every time you have opportunities to do that, you want to take them because it could be an opportunity to build muscle mass and to get blood pumping in areas that maybe you're otherwise not hitting, because as a power lifter you might only be doing 1 to 3 reps of bench, squat, and deadlift, but you could go and do sets of 15 of like a leg press and get a lot of blood flow into the legs and into the extremities, which could be something that can help keep your knees really healthy. And then same thing on something like a bench press. Like if you're going to use dumbbells when you go over to the bench press, even a 400-pound bencher, that's a pretty strong person, when they go over to the dumbbell rack, they're probably going to use about 100 pounds in each hand. That's only 200 pounds. That's literally half the amount of weight that you're handling over here. But you'll be able to do it for some repetitions. And the fact that it's unstable, you have to try to stabilize it yourself. So you're hitting muscles and hitting areas and targeting things that you're just not getting from the big 3. Well, man. Here we go.
Here you go, Mark.
Setup's still the same. We still got to treat this the same. You want to always treat weights with respect. Try to stabilize everything the best I can. Sometimes on this movement, if you try to explode, the weights will really go all over the place. So you want to try to find a smooth cadence. But you'll see if I try to push into it hard, now it really wants to go everywhere, right? This would be something I definitely suggest that you have a spotter on.
You used this one before, Jordan?
Yeah, but not in years. So now I definitely want a spotter. Snaps right back, hits me in the fucking face.
How'd you lose your tooth, bro? 3 up. And I'm just gonna stay right here in case anything wacky happens. Looks like he's pretty smooth. Don't let your mom watch this. She'll be really nervous about this. That doesn't look safe, Jordan. Oh my God. Your muscles are plenty big enough. What are you doing, honey? You're getting too big. It's not natural for your muscles to bulge out like that. You're Jewish. That's not supposed to happen.
What I like about this one a lot is it really forces you to learn how to squeeze the fuck out of the bar. Like, if you're not squeezing it tight,
you can't get lazy with it.
You can't the entire time.
Yeah, you can get some aesthetics from this.
Just figure like
Yeah, you do reps, and you end up with a lot of you end up connected to the bar the entire time, so you end up with a good amount of time under tension. as Jordan was saying, you got to really squeeze the bar, but you also want to try to keep a constant pace, because if you go fast at any moment, it's going to go all over the place. And if you stop or lock in too hard at any moment, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to go all over the place. So this is going to keep you at a like kind of a bodybuilding pace. The way you see a bodybuilder, you know, rep out 135, they stay real tight on it, and it's a smooth, controlled movement. You ever messed around with any bodybuilding stuff? Like
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Is Paul Carter's writing my programs.
It's excruciating, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awful.
You do like drop sets? And
yeah, a lot of drop sets.
Oh man.
Rest pause.
I think that stuff's really good for your mental capacity. You know,
Yeah.
like pushing. You know, you do a set of like 10, then you got to do a drop set, another set of 10s. Like, it takes a lot of mental power.
Man, and it's like getting in the endurance realm that like sometimes you just don't get into in the powerlifting world. Which is one of the biggest mistakes that I made. Is
Bodybuilders are in great shape.
They're and they're super strong.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. I think that's probably the biggest mistake that I made throughout powerlifting was never doing more bodybuilding style training. It was like probably the biggest mistake that
Yeah, it feels awesome to do that stuff.
You want to lift or are you good?
Yeah, I'll take a lift. Take a lift and a squat.
Here you go, Mark. Come on.
Oh.
Easy, nice. Come on. Come on. 17. Come on, keep going. 18. 19. 20.
Holy shit. That's hard. Oh my god. That got to be really hard.
Definitely need a spot on this one.
Yeah, gotcha. 3 up. Nice. Doing good. We're going to stop it at the top for a little bit. See if we can get a few more.
That's nice.
Good. Good work. Yeah, once you get tired on this too, you're done. You're out. I'll do one more with both of them. So we just did, we did 2 movements today, and we're doing a little chitter chatter, so might be taking a little bit longer than normal. We're just gonna probably do one more movement. Probably go over to do some dumbbells, and he wanted to do shoulders, so we'll do like kind of a shoulder / incline press type deal. That way we're getting a little bit of chest and getting a little bit of that front delt, and we'll superset it with some lateral raises. So just about 4 movements in the workout. How many movements do you usually do in your workouts?
Between 4 to 6, depending on the day.
It's really not that many, right? I mean,
on paper, it always looks easy.
Yeah, yeah.
In execution and practice, it's fucking brutal.
Right.
If you're always, people are like, should I do like 12, 13, 15? I'm like, sometimes I'll go as low as 3. Maybe depending if I'm doing more conditioning stuff at the end, it might be more just like in order to do the conditioning, get some variation with it. But strength-wise, 4 to 6.
So we often get asked, how do I stay motivated? How do I stay on track? What we just said is hugely important, because for every time that you go in the gym and you say, F it, and you do 10 exercises or 12 exercises, how is that helping you and how is it hurting you? Are you in the gym the next day still excited, still fired up? Or did you miss the next day? Or 2-3 days later, are you like incapacitated, like you can barely move? You know, you're all jacked up and you start to fall into a funk and you're like, why am I so tired? It's the extra energy that you're bleeding out in the gym. I know you're excited, but just trust us, you sometimes just need to go the fuck home. You really do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just go home.
It's like, there's a point
You
of
did a great
diminishing
job
returns.
today, just leave.
That's it. That's what, like, even with the bench, it's like, stop while you're doing really well. Don't go until you fail.
Right.
Like, stop at the highest point. I think that comes with learning experience too, right? At a certain point, like, you learn, okay, that was gonna be my fastest set. I'm gonna stop right there.
Yeah.
And once you start decreasing in speed, decreasing in technique, you're training bad habits.
Yeah, and I've learned, over the years, in actually training people like in person and working with people in person, I'll sometimes ask our crew in the morning, I'll be like, hey, you guys want to do more? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, good, we're done. That's, you know, that's great. Like, let's leave that hunger. That hunger, you're actually really hungry, then you'll be here tomorrow at 4:30 again. You know what I mean?
I love that.
And that's something you want to try to, people talk about leaving a rep in a tank. Leave some exercise in the tank, man. Oh.
Easy, nice. Come on. Squeeze it, come on. 10. Come on. There we go. Come on. 15. 60.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Couldn't quite make it to 20. I got 16 in there though.
That was great.
Woo! Smoked out. Try one more high rep one. 2, 3. There we go. 4. Yep. We got 5 more.
Let's go.
Yep, last one. Yeah. Going for it. Good job. Excellent. Just gonna leave this like this. Somebody else will clean up our mess for us.
Man, this facility is insane.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's
It's great, man. We get to
fucking crazy.
kind of do whatever we want in here. It's fun. So we're gonna do like what I like to call a garbage set, which is just a cheap set with some light weight, just to move around a little bit. See how your body's feeling. Yep, that's good. I just do a couple reps, just move around a little bit. That's the garbage set. Yep, there we go.
All right, I'll do a garbage set.
Yeah, it's just to kind of see. It's a different movement. Kind of test things out. Good old garbage set. Yeah, you're good. So on this next one, we're going to grab a weight that feels challenging, and we'll do a set here of maybe like 12 to 15 reps.
Cool.
And then we'll do a lateral raise, but let's do a drop set on the lateral raise, and we'll do them single arm, which is really awkward when you go from doing a double arm to a single arm. So when you come off of here, go on to whatever your weaker side is.
Yep.
Start out with your weaker side, and we'll go weaker side, stronger side, weaker side, stronger side until we'll do a triple drop set. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Same weight for the drop set, or dropping the weight every time?
Dropping weight each time, man.
Come on.
Did about 15 reps on that. Felt pretty good.
Yeah, that was easy.
This one, yeah.
Come on, Mark.
You can grab your weight for your presses if you want, whatever weight you want to pick.
You want me to start?
Yep. grip starts to get tired.
Burning. Some kind of close device.
Holy shit. Burning, Syatt. Burning. Burning, burning.
Your shoulder.
Yeah. There you go, Jordan. Yep. The advantage of doing single arm is that we get to sway it in front of us a little bit. Really, like if we're trying to do a lateral raise, you want to be as lateral as possible. But in this one, we get to get that weight out in front of us just a little bit. Still working the shoulders like crazy, all the way into his back, all the way into the rear delts, all the way through his, I mean, you can see everything's getting worked, his traps, everything. This right here, this taper that everyone's always looking for, a lot of that's built through some of the simple exercises like deadlifts, pull-ups, squats, bench pressing. That's how you build that up. And then when you build that up, when you have a bigger back and you have bigger shoulders, less of the focus is where? On how chubby you might be, right? So you build up some of this stuff, and now you have a little more room. You got a little bit more flexibility with what your body fat percentage is, even really. You know, if you get fit and you get in good shape, and you start to build a little bit of a taper, start to build some lats, start to build some arms. If you chunk up 5 pounds, 10 pounds, maybe even 15 pounds, you still might be okay. You'll still probably look pretty good, still probably feel pretty good about your physique, but it takes a long time. And it starts with some of those main exercises that have been around forever. You got a bent over row. Like, nothing's changed in fitness. Like, let's just hit the pause button for a second. Nothing has really changed in fitness. You got a bent over row. You got some form of deadlifting, whether it be stiff leg or whatever style, just some type of deadlifting. We got squats. We got bench press. We have overhead press. We got pull-ups. We got push-ups. Even like body weight squats. A burpee I would throw in there. Like, it's a great, like, burpee's a great movement. You want to really just kick your own ass and throw in some burpees somewhere. After that, there's not really, maybe some sit-ups, I guess.
Yeah, lunges.
Yeah, some single, there you go. Single arm, single leg, a little bit of single arm, single leg stuff.
That's the majority.
But those are the main things that you need. So we do something a little different on this one. So just because you're trying to do a certain thing doesn't mean you have to follow that the entire time. We're going to really jack stuff up right now. Our shoulders already got blood in them. I'm going to try to go a little heavier, which is going to be really hard. But it's going to be difficult, but I'll figure out a way to get through it. The next movement we're going to do, we're lowering these weights way down. We're doing both arms at the same time, and we're going to O'Hearn these. We're going to bring these guys up and over and out like this, which really sucks, and it's really hard, especially on my left side because my shoulder's a little wonky. But we're going to do that after we do these presses. So those single arm, some of the main point of those single arm ones that we just did was just to get a lot of blood into the shoulders.
I like that superset a lot, man. My shoulders are pumped.
Yep. Supersets at SuperTraining. Super Syatt. Come on, we're Syatt.
Come on. Nice. Nice job.
Woo. A little tired 15 or so.
Got it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm dying. Holy shit. See if you can do 10s maybe or so. Holy shit. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Yep. Bring them all the way together. Yep. Sometimes people see movements like this and they're like, what about your rotator cuff? It's a lightweight. You know, you're not going to injure yourself with this unless you went too heavy. It's a lightweight exercise. There we go. Woo. I love the intensity, brother.
Fuck.
Oh.
I saw the 15s. I was like, I could do 15s. I was like, fuck, these hands are fucking brutal.
You want to do more?
Yeah.
That means we're done. That means it's a wrap. Always leave a little bit in the tank, right? Good workout. Got some good benching in, got some good shoulders in.
That was really good. Felt great.
And there's nothing wrong with feeling like you want to do more. Actually, a really good thing because you're probably traveling somewhere. Where are you heading?
Canada.
Heading to Canada. They don't have weights up there. You know? So maybe you should just finish out here. What are you doing up in Canada?
Seminar at a gym. Hit me up with Omar.
Nice.
And
Omar Ass Muffin, I call him. That's my nickname for him.
So it's been a pleasure being out here, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Best gym in the world, that's for sure.
That's really cool. I got an opportunity to do a seminar up at that same gym, that same facility. Man, they have everything.
Yeah, it's Fortis. Yeah, it's amazing.
That place is a lot like SuperTraining, and the guy that owns the place has a lot of his own inventions and products in there.
Yeah, okay.
Really cool. I don't think he even sells them. I think he just is like
Makes
super
them.
passionate about fitness, and he makes like his own benches and all kinds of stuff. You'll see they have a self handout like bench.
Yeah.
Like where you can unrack the weight.
That's awesome.
Yourself real easy. You pull it out over top of you, right where you want it.
It's like a mono bench.
Yeah, and you
That's
lock it
amazing.
in perfectly. It's really good. Anyway, good training with you. We're about to hop onto a podcast. We just blasted out some some shoulders. This is Jordan Syatt, Mark Smelly Bell. Appreciate you guys following along. Catch you all later. Maybe you should close it out with strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength, and then punch the camera, but don't hurt Carlos.
Strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength, but don't punch Carlos.